Baby, let me tell you, Ronnie, 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 girl, girl. My God. Oh my God. We got him. We got him. Do you know how long corrupt Senator Robert Menendez, years and years. I got so much going on right now. It's not even funny. Yeah. They got him, girl. Girl, they got him. What the hell? Girl, they got him. They got his ass. They got him. Oh my God, they got him. Oh my God, they got him. I can't make this video long. Whew, it's already 6 minutes. Girl. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right. It's up there. 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 What? Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. But oh, I unplugged my light. But anyway, doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Ronnie, girl, we gotta dance. I gotta call you. It's a celebration. Senator Robert Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, Ronnie and everybody else, they busted him. Prosecutor Damian Williams came on at about, it was 2 hours ago, an hour ago, so like 3 hours ago now. What time is it? Oh, my hand is hurting so bad. Both of them. What time is it? It's 5:03. So around 2 o'clock, he came on and he made this announcement, and I made a video short that he busted him. Cash, a car, a Mercedes-Benz. I lost my glasses. These are my old glasses, but I'm good enough to see out of them to drive. So until I find my other ones or get them replaced. Gold, bars of gold, which he showed on the news. And I'm like, what? Because, they tried to prosecute Senator Robert Menendez before, and nothing came of it. So they got him, his wife, and 3 businessmen. They tried to get him before, and they tried to say it was all politics. And of course, it wasn't all politics, but they couldn't get the slippery, slickery, oily bastard. And I had went to him. I think some of you may or may not know I was arrested for crimes I didn't commit and eventually went to prison for 7 years. And while I was in there, I was protesting and I was getting beat up, which is why I got the condition that I have now. And some other things happened to me in the prison. And I wind up getting 4 more years because the officers went to court and testified falsely against me. So I got an additional 4 years. So I wind up staying for 7 years all total. So I don't hold that against every officer. Like I said, every officer is not corrupt, but the ones who did it. So then I have this corrupt judge. His name is Judge Michael O'Neill at the Hunterdon County court system. But I got sick since I've been out, and I haven't been able to prosecute my case. So I'm better. I'm on the upward swing. And like I said, I'm running for president of the United States next year once I get my petition signed. Even though I had a little setback with my hands, but that was because my medication ran out. And it caused some swelling, as you can see, just a little bit of swelling. And they thought I had arthritis, and they thought, thank God, I'm sharing it now. They thought I had arthritis, and they thought I had lupus, and I do not. So my swelling is going to go down, and I'm getting a nurse to help me, with my stuff until I get this situation corrected. But in the meantime, it's just very painful. And then I had to stop working out. So my weight keeps going up and down, up and down. That's why you see my arms fat like this. But they're going to go away. I'm going to go back to my regular size. And so by next year, my weight will be back down to my regular size. Doesn't help that I eat a bunch of junk. But that's okay. The condition is fixable. So while conditions are permanent, like I said, I'm 56. I just turned 56, and so my condition is not what I thought it was at all. So it just causes some swelling in my hands, but it's not my. It's just the soft tissue swelling. I don't have lupus where like you're inside your knuckles and stuff, they swell. As you can see, my knuckles aren't swollen. It's just soft tissue swelling. Thank God. Like right here, it's just swollen, but it's going to go down. So blessed. But it does hurt. And I've typed and I've done writing. So, of course, I have carpal tunnel. But everybody has carpal tunnel. But it hurts like a bitch. So, again, I escaped it. Anyway, back to Menendez. And this stuff is aggravated by them beating me in the prison. But at any rate, so I reached out to Menendez because I'm like, they're putting me in prison for crimes I didn't commit. And they're trying to hide the evidence. And they're this and they're that. And that's what caused me to have a miscarriage. They basically murdered my unborn fetus by putting me in prison because I was ordered on bed rest. Once I conceived my ex and I, well, he's deceased now. So, but I was engaged to be married. So once we conceived, I had to be on strict bed rest. And I reached out to his office and I written his office and he wrote me off, like, oh, you're nobody. You're just some black person that's convicted. And, I'm like, how dare he? Never did anything in my life. Very active in the community. Always advocating and helping people. And so it was like, to a lot of people who knew me, it's like, haha, see, you're always taking up for the police. You're always, in the police face and community of, DARE and community of policing. And now look at these people, they're putting you in prison. That's beside the point. There's bad officers everywhere, but there's also bad senators everywhere. And he's one of them. And he wouldn't help me back then. And he was my senator where I lived. He was the one I reached out to. And this is such poetic justice for me. I love it. I love it. He was corrupt. He wouldn't help. He wouldn't answer my letters. And I think he said something glib, like, because I remember writing him, and I got a letter back from him at the prison. But there's this whore at Ednamon Correctional Facility named Cara Phyllis, Officer Cara Phyllis. She still works there. And she done made her rounds sleeping with almost every officer. And she took my documents and she threw them in the garbage, even though the sergeant had said to her, open the door, and take Harris' documents out so that they could be sent back down to storage. She refused to do that. And so she said, just put them out the food port. So as I'm putting my documents out the food port, she's putting them in the garbage. So if you look on the camera, it looks like I'm throwing my documents in the garbage. And I said to her, well, the sergeant said for you to just open the door and take the whole bag. So she threw an entire box, like an entire bag worth of my evidence in the garbage. Because she said, just put it in this garbage can and I'll have the inmates, the trustees, bag it up. So once I put it in there, she's like, I don't have any of your documents. You threw them in the garbage. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't throw them in the garbage. You told me to put them in the garbage. You have the inmates bag them up. She says, no, you threw it in the garbage. So then the supervisor comes down and she's like, no, Harris, we saw you on the camera. You threw your stuff in the garbage. And I'm like, no, I didn't. The supervisor told her to open the door and take them, and she refused to take them because he wasn't on the unit and she wasn't going to take it. So that's how my documents, my evidence for my court case got thrown in the garbage. And then I had to file a case because not only was that stuff that she put in the garbage, that stuff she put in the garbage was for about 10 of my cases and my appeals. So now I had to write, and it caused me money for these cases right here. Let me see if I can show you. These cases, hold on, it's not being done. These boxes right here, these boxes right in back of me, and then these boxes right in back of me here. Yeah, this is what my house looks like. So now the Department of Correction, I have to take them to court because they're charging me money because I had to reproduce those cases because this raggedy whore threw my documents away, and I had to recopy, reproduce, rewrite everything by hand, all of the documents over, then recopy them, reserve everybody, and I was missing a lot of stuff, and I had to get a loan all over again for all of the stuff that she threw away and reserve everybody, and then ask the court, could I serve it out of time? And so they're charging me, and now they're actually taking my what is that check we get? The home rebate case. So now I have to take them to court and take her to court because she threw my documents away, and now they want to take my check, which they're not supposed to take because of my current situation, because this lady threw my stuff away. All because Menendez refused to write one letter requesting that they hold my evidence for me, and do an inquiry, a simple inquiry into the officer who made the arrest, because he was the boyfriend of the lady who was accusing me. And that's something that citizens often did. They made a request to their senator when the person was involved with the people who did the arrest. Now, years later, I find out that not only was he doing that, the officer, he actually got fired because he was sleeping with the people that he was arresting. He was making the women have sex so that he didn't write police reports. Yeah, they actually fired him, the officer who wrote my report. Years later, they actually fired him. But had he just did the inquiry like I asked, and this is just such a happy day for me. I can't wait for his crusty, greasy, funky, stanky ass to be in prison. Everybody who has done something to me that contributed to me going to jail, oh my God, they're just one by one, they're getting their just desserts. Like, I never have to do anything to anybody. I never do. And so every time I say something like, you're going to get what's coming to you, they think like, what is she going to do to us? Nothing. Revenge is never mine. Revenge is never mine. It's not something that I do. I just sit back because you're such a grimy, greasy motherfucker. You're going to do something. You're going to slip up. Your day is coming. It's just like this judge, Judge O'Neill. His name is Michael F. O'Neill. And he's been the judge at Hunterdon County for a long time. And there was a settlement with the women who were raped, and I'm one of the women. And he got rid of all of my charges in my lawsuit. All of my claims in my lawsuit except for one. And I can't understand why, first of all, Governor Murphy is even allowing this to happen, or the senators who said that we could file out of time, we could opt out of the class action and then file individually on our own. And then why is Murphy allowing his deputy attorney generals to go after me and get rid of my claims in my lawsuit? Like, you literally wrote a law that said we could file on our own, and then you had your deputy attorney generals and your attorney generals try to go after me and the ones who opted out. You two-faced son of a bitch. So, like, you are you allowing us to pursue the claims? Did you write a law that said we could pursue the claims? But we got to stay in the class action? I don't want to stay in the class action because my rapes and my assaults predate the date that you put in the class action. So you did a class action where the majority of the women, if we put in a claim, they're going to deny it, Governor Murphy, because we were raped before 2014. So everybody who was at the prison that was raped before 2014, that agreed to be a part of the settlement, and then you put in a claim, you're not going to be compensated if you were raped before 2014 like I was. If you were sexually harassed before 2014 like I was. So you extended the time for us to put in the claim for the rape and the sexual harassment, but then you put a little gotcha. It had to have happened 2014 or later, you son of a bitch. But then you said, well, you can opt out and you can file your own claim individually, which is literally why the first judge on the case said no to the class action lawsuit, because she literally spelled out all of the women who were at Edna Correctional Facility that were raped prior to 2014 are not covered by the class action lawsuit. And then you get this corrupt ass judge in there who removes one of the main people who were raping the women was William Anderson, the administrator. One of the main people who was sexually harassing the women at Edna Mahan Correctional Facility was William Anderson, the administrator. He did it at Edna Mahan. He did it at the prison over in Newark that they call the Green Mile. And the judge and the attorneys that were representing the women what's that bastard's name? Barry Oliver is his name. The guy, Barry Oliver, he's the attorney. He's the attorney that represented the women. They made this backdoor deal to remove William Anderson. Why? They left in Administrator Sarah Davis, and she wasn't even there when the rapes were going on. But they're suing her. She wasn't even the administrator. So why are you leaving her in the lawsuit? Why are you making her liable for something that William Anderson did in the lawsuit? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Because he's one of the good old boys. Because he's a man, and he's the one. He slept with an inmate named Edwina Potter. She's changed her name, so that's why I'm using her name. Because I don't know what her new name is, and that's not going to be attached to her. He comes to the prison in the wee hours of the night when no administrator is supposed to be even at the prison. And he used to do this when the women were housed at New Jersey State Prison. We used to have ADSEG at New Jersey State Prison. He comes there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, has sex with the inmates, and then he leaves. So when they transferred ADSEG to Edna Man Correctional Facility, he did the same thing there. He went to Hillcrest, had sex with the ladies, and then he just went home, got himself a nap, and came back at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, he's such a disgusting, filthy turd. No wonder regular women don't want to have sex with him. I don't blame any of them. But for that reason, that's why they were beating me up, because I was writing to the Department of Justice in Newark. And you people are protecting him, and then you put him at the prison in Newark. Like, you just move him from prison to prison to prison. His name is William J. Anderson. And you just move him around, and then you pulled him out of the lawsuit. You give him protection. Why? He did the same thing when he was the administrator at the prison in New Jersey, Trenton, the prison in Trenton. I don't know why this man is getting so much protection from a judge. Why is this man getting so much protection from the administrators? And then you make the current commissioner, Victoria Coons, you move her up the ranks when she was the director who was there when everybody was getting raped. She literally knew we were getting beat. She knew we were getting raped. How do I know? Because I personally told her when she did a tour. I wrote to her. I have a disability letter that I can show you where the disability coordinator, Miss Jackson, wrote to me. And in that letter, it literally says that I was being assaulted. And at the bottom, there's a copy to everybody, and her name is copied as the director. So as a director of a prison, that is something that you would bring up. Then, because I got her name in that letter, I wrote her on the what are those things called? Because we didn't have a kiosk, of course. They didn't give the women a kiosk till years later. The men had kiosks, but the women did not. So we had to write on grievances. So my grievances, of course, got thrown away by Cara Phyllis. So I had to rewrite everything over. But when she did a tour, I personally told her. So she can't say that she did not know we were being beat. She did not know we were being raped. They beat Tanya Leary, beat her senseless till she was bleeding. They beat Barbara Fahrencross, beat her because they refused to give her cigarettes, and then she was fiending for cigarettes that the officers used to bring to her. They beat Chinese McCoy. They beat these women up. They beat Daisy Richardson. They beat Jessica Brown. These are the women that they beat in the prison. They beat me. They beat Natalie Tice. So, yeah. They beat Renee Smalls. They beat us. They beat Gonzalez. What's Gonzalez's first name? With those pretty eyes. I can't think of her name because I call her my granddaughter because I give everybody nicknames. So yeah, they beat up everybody in the prison. And writing to the DOJ, writing to which the letters I have, and them responding back and telling me, oh, gee, these complaints are not complaints that we handle. Really? Women are getting raped. Women are getting beat. And I'm writing to the DOJ, and they send me letters back and say, oh, these aren't things that we handle. Well, now you took the men and you put the men over there. And I'm not talking about the transgender ones. I'm talking about actual men who have no intention on becoming transgender. They have penises, muscles, and mustaches. And they have no intention on transgendering. They're not taking medication. They're not in therapy. They're just over there beating the shit out of the women. They enjoy it. That's why they were sent to prison. They're beating women in the chairs that are bed bound or excuse me, not bed bound, wheelchair bound. There's a reason I'm saying this. That a wheelchair bound, they beat a woman so bad that that because she didn't want to keep having sex with him, beat her so bad she had to be taken out and flown out 911. That's how bad he beat her, because she didn't want to have sex with him. But they think, oh, we settled $22 million and it's over with, it's done. Another one got raped and had a baby. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. They think we settled the lawsuit, so this is not happening anymore. And you got Victoria Coombs as the administrator. Why? This the same bitch that knew what was going on when they beat our motherfucking ass initially. You done fired one of the sergeants that was there protecting us. His name is Sergeant Anthony Valvano. And y'all got him mixed up in some bullshit and you fired him, and he was one of the ones that was protecting us. Talking about he wrote a false report. Everybody got to write the same goddamn report. Because if you don't write the same report coming from Victoria all the way down, then you get fired from your job. You don't have a choice. Everybody got to write the same report. They started that back when the old white guy was there. Damn, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. But him, Coons, when she was director, Anderson, all of these people hang out together. They know each other from home. They hang in the streets together. Can't think of who the old administrator of Edna Correctional Facility was. And then the main person that ties it all together is John Falvey. He sits on the board of trustees, which is a conflict of interest. Board of trustees. He's the director of the disciplinary. He participates in hearings. He's the attorney for the Division of Operations. He sits in on ICC and oversees the legal of that. He's oversees the administration. Anything that's done in administration at all the prisons, you have to run it through John Falvey. He has his hands in everything that's going on at the prison. Nobody does anything at the prison that's not run through John Falvey. That's how everything gets done. If an incident happened, that has to go through John Falvey. So that's how right hand knows what the left hand is doing, and it has to be passed to John Falvey because he's the attorney, he's the director, he's the Open Public Records Act records keeper. He's on the board of directors. He has 5 positions at that Department of Corrections. And he works hand in hand with whomever the commissioner is. That is a conflict of interest. So what does this have to do with Mr. Gold Bars? Because I wrote Mr. Gold Bars about what was going on at this prison before I was even in that prison. And he didn't care. He looked the other way. Guess where you're going, Mr. Gold Bars? If you had taken care of this back when I wrote you about it, because I've always been a community activist, the things that you're about to suffer in that same damn prison, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I hope they eat your ass alive in that prison, you sorry sack of shit. Have a nice day. Oh, actually, don't have a nice day. Ex-Senator Robert Menendez.